Well, according to the app on my phone, it's about 43 degrees outside. The water, of course, is probably about 6 to 8 degrees colder than that. And then once you get on the throttle here on this 2017 Sea-Doo GTR-X 230, it gets a lot colder than 43 degrees. So why on earth are we out here? Well, the reality is that we're soon to bid goodbye to our 2017 long-term test model. Sea-Doo was very nice in loaning us this 2017 GTR-X 230. It was the first year of the new Rotax 1.5 liter Ace 1500, which comes in at 230 horsepower. You take that 230 horsepower and apply it to an 821 pound two-seater runabout, and you got a 0 to 60 time of just over 5 seconds. That's pretty stinking fast for a watercraft that's priced at $13,099. As many of you have already seen, this little GTR-X 230 has racked up quite a few miles with the Watercraft Journal over the last year. We've taken it out on several touring rides, group rides with clubs from across the country, and racked up over 32 hours worth of riding. Now, to a lot of you long haulers, that might not sound like a lot, but when you add to that us squeezing in as much riding as we can among other testing and riding other watercraft, that's quite a bit of riding. Over the course of 8.5 months, we've gotten really familiar with this Sea-Doo. The GTR-X was the first for 2017 to receive Sea-Doo's CM Tech, or closed mold technology, which was their new proprietary molding process. This allows them to apply a really great, really rich, metallic, and deep set automotive style paint job. Now, our photography might not do it justice, but if you get up close, especially if you can see it in the daylight, you're going to see a lot of pearl really pop out of that watercraft. So what makes the GTR-X so special in comparison to its GTR 230 sibling? As you can see, this watercraft shares the entire top deck with the high-end 300 horsepower RXP-X watercraft. But beneath the bond line, it's all GTI. That allows you to have a little bit more of a playful ride, get a little loose in the corners, slide it around, but with that ergolock seat, you can still get high up over the bars and really trim down and snap a good churn. So it's a little bit of the best of both worlds. We actually enjoy the GTR-X a little bit more than the RXP-X, only because it allows for a little bit more playful riding as opposed to the really hard-biting, fully hardcore aggressive handling of the standard RXP-X. Once properly broken in, the GTR-X 230 peaked at a GPS-confirmed 68.8 miles per hour. That's pretty dang good, especially considering that it's outpacing watercraft with significantly more horsepower. Our testing having taken place over the better part of a year, we've come to see how the watercraft has held up in a variety of different weather conditions. We've had quite a bit of snow, we've had a whole lot of rain, had some hot summers, and some cool winters. So how does the watercraft hold up? Besides being a little bit sluggish to start when it's really cold outside, like today, the watercraft has been fantastic. We haven't had any problems with dead batteries or low charging. It hasn't sapped away any of the battery requiring a tender to be attached to it. We've been able to wash it regularly with no problem. We haven't seen very much discoloring. Even with a pressure washer, we haven't damaged any of the decals. Small notes that we have seen is a little bit of discoloring on some of the more raw plastic, and we've had a few issues with some fit and finish, where gaps have started to expand, and some of the tighter finishes and some of the tighter latching might start to rattle over the next few months or so. These fit and finish issues aren't deal breakers though, because you can go in there with a nice socket wrench or a small wrench, get in there, tighten up some nuts, and now your front hood latch will tighten up nice and snug. Or that you can get in there and realign some of the cowling around the glove box and around the gauge cluster, wherein you can close up a few of those gaps. We haven't done those yet, but going on some of the forums, we've seen some guys offer some really good advice, especially when it comes to the long-term maintenance of your personal watercraft. Thankfully, we've taken good care of our GTR-X 230 this year, so we haven't had any need to replace any major components. We haven't chewed up a prop, we haven't sucked up anything into the intake grate that has required some maintenance or even parts replacing, which has been great. For the most part, the watercraft is exactly how we received it back in early May. Now, for our final evaluation, we think that given the price and given the value and the performance and the ability of this watercraft, we really do think it's a fantastic purchase. Big standouts for this machine are similar across the board for all Sea-Doos, wherein we're big fans of the ITC or intelligent throttle control system that come on all Sea-Doo watercraft. This allows you to toggle through a variety of different screens. This allows you to set all sorts of parameters for your variable trim control system. This also allows you to toggle between sport mode, touring mode, or eco mode, which we use regularly on almost all of our rides. For the most part, Sea-Doo still has the crown when it comes to the best instrumentation on a personal watercraft. We like the combination of the LCD screen in the center with the two analog gauges on either side. This allows for easy reading at different speeds. It allows you a variety of different options that you can toggle through even while underway or while you're sitting at the dock. And the information and data screens are really helpful in allowing you to know a little bit more about what your watercraft is doing. If you want to see your top speed, you can do it. If you want to set a lap speed, you can do it. You want to toggle between your RPM or your speedometer, you can do that too. Sea-Doo has allowed a lot of instrumentation wiggle room so that it can be personalized for the personal taste of the rider or the owner. Although the GTR-X falls within Sea-Doo's performance family, because it's based on the GTI platform, it also has the same dimensions as the recreation line. That means that it has just a little over 30 gallons of storage, and it has the 15.9 gallon fuel cell. The glove box is large enough for a couple of drinks, maybe your cell phone, wallet, or a dry case to hold those items, but very little else. Trying to cram in a full-size bottle of spray suntan lotion might be a little difficult. Over several of last year's rides, we installed our cool PWC cooler rack. This actually worked out really well, and we were surprised that it didn't chew up that really soft, monogrammed swim platform pad. Although it would leave dents, a little bit of time out in the sun, and that traction mat would relax and take its normal shape again. Some minor quibbles that we have with the GTR-X 230 primarily come to cleaning and detailing, only because we're having a difficult time in trying to restore that really brilliant black luster that came from the factory on the fairings and around the gauge cluster shroud. If we only knew how to replicate that, we would be happy campers. The final takeaway of the 2017 Sea-Doo GTR-X 230 is incredibly positive. We think it's a fantastic watercraft. It's a lot of fun. It lets you have a lot of fun around the lake. You can zip hard turns and you can cut around as much as you want. The Ergolock seat is very comfortable. We like the narrow pinch saddle. We think the Sea-Doo has been a phenomenal performer, and even on long distance rides, you stay out of the boost and you can hang with all the naturally aspirated cruisers and not worry about having to stop every time you see a gas station. Performance wise, it's a blast. For the versatility of the watercraft, we've had all of our kids on it and they've had a good time. Had the wife on it, she's enjoyed it both in sport mode and in eco mode. So really, it's put a smile on everyone's face. We gotta say that as being the high end of the GTI line or the bottom end of the performance family, Sea-Doo really knocked it out of the park with the GTR-X. We really think it's a fantastic addition to the Sea-Doo lineup. We're glad to see it survive, and we look forward to seeing future iterations as the new designs come out in the next few years. I'm Kevin Shaw, and you've been watching Long Haul. Make sure to check us out Monday through Friday at watercraftjournal.com. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single episode of Long Haul.